So today we're going to be going over the Cincom D25, and the one that we stock here in the USA is the Type 8 with a B axis. Key points on this machine is the next generation CNC system with a 15-inch touchscreen and a QWERTY keyboard. Easy to set up with on-screen graphical prompts, 3 Y-axes, 3 X-axes, 3 Z-axes. Double gang design with a Z2, so we can actually get some extra feed on the main spindle. Pinch, turn, and mill with different feeds. Possible 3 tools in the cut, just like an M for the higher model machine. This is the B axis with front and back machining for the B axis. Independent, manually adjustable angle rotary tool for the sub spindle that we can man set on the back side. The power and the speed on this machine is an increase, and we're up to 7.3 horsepower and 10,000 RPM on both spindles. You can run this machine with and without guide bushing, and it has a full 5-axis control, not a 4+1. Here's an inside look, both slides on the front spindle with a lot of tools, and the back slide with a lot of live tooling options and static options. And showing the B axis with the 4 front facing tools over here, and these tools would actually work on the back side of the spindle, or for the sub spindle. Starting off, I always like to start off with the base of the machine and show how rigid it is. This machine is supported by 6 legs, much more robust than an L20, and basically was bigger than our M432 machine that we were just previously making. Now we're on to the M532, which is kind of the same as this one is now. This machine also has 25mm high rigidity ball screws, which improve the capability of this machine by about 16% over the L20 and our past M432. Here's the configuration. It's a 10-axis machine. It's actually 12 if you count the 2 C-axes on the spindles. You have X, Y, and Z1 over here, X, Y, Z2 over here on the gang tool post number 2. On the back tool post, you have the Y3, and the sub spindle moves in X and Z. Front spindle, like I said before, 10,000 RPM. Back spindles, 10,000 RPM. Rotary tools on post 1 and post 2 over here are 9,000 RPMs. With speeders, you can get more out of that. And the rotary tools on the back tool post is 6,000. And again, with speeders, we can get more speed out of the back side of this also. Go over this a little bit closer to show what comes with the machine. 4 turning tools on the front side, 3 of them are for turning. They're 5/8 square, and there's a cutoff position that has a 3/4 inch slot in there. And there's 4 B-axis tools for the front spindle. Also on the main spindle, but on the back side, slide 2, 4 more turning positions. Again, 3 are 5/8, and 1 is a 3/4 inch cutoff position. There's 4 1-inch front-facing static positions that you would put a drill holder, boring bar holder in. And then there's 3 live stations for ER16 holder GSC 1310s, and all 3 of those are mounted in this machine for you when you purchase it. Also for the main spindle is a deep hole drilling position that comes standard with the machine. Has 2 3/4 inch sleeves, so we can get 4.7 inch depth on the deep hole drilling side of this. Standard tooling for the sub spindle, you can get 7 static positions facing backwards for drills or boring bars, and then 2 GSC 1310s. You won't get 4 of them, you'll get 2 of these. And then you're also going to get this BSE 807, which has 3 more stations on it, and you can man set those anywhere you want in this top position. And then you also get a 3-tool sleeve holder that you can mount in one of the positions. Also, you have the 4 live tools on the B axis facing for the back side. So all in, within this machine, and one of the things I really like is that there's 16 live tool spindles that are included with the machine. And this machine is just like an M, and if you try to put that many spindles in an M, your dollar price would be up really high. So I really enjoy this machine, like it a lot, just for that basic fact. Modular tooling options, and this is for slide 2. This is going to show you everything that you can mount in the different positions that is safe to mount in those positions. Of course, you could do something wrong, mount the wrong thing, but these are what are recommended for these positions. The GSC 1310s are what comes with it, but all these other ones could be mounted in these positions. On the back tool slide for the sub spindle, much more options to be able to put a lot more different tooling blocks back there, so you can do more complex parts. Common Cincom features, just like all of our L's and M's, removable guide bushing, run as Swiss or chucker mode, gives you a shorter remnant, and you can run non-ground bars and still hold roundness. LFV is an option on this machine. The option would be on X1 Z1 and X3 Z3. That would be front and back spindle. You would be able to do LFV turning. It is not on the Z2, so you could not pinch turn while you're LFVing, but you could LFV for your finished cuts or any cut that's giving you a problem. We also come standard with air purge spindles for the guide bushing and the live tooling. That keeps all the, if you're using cutting, water miscible cutting fluid, it would keep that stuff out of there. And it also helps, because there's an oiler, it helps lubricate those areas. The MCC standard coolant tank now is a chip conveyor ready coolant tank. So there's no more having to cut things and change things when the machine is installed to install a chip conveyor. It's ready to go. It also gives us extra capacity from the standard coolant tank. This one will have 79 gallons of oil in it. And with all the extra lines for all the extra tools, we have included 2 standard pressure coolant pumps to feed all those lines. And that's separate from what you get with a high pressure when you add high pressure to this, which the 79 gallons will also help you dissipate a lot of that heat and keep the oil from foaming up, because it'll have more time for the oil to let the air release out of it. Another MCC standard now that we're including on the D, and this is actually showing a different version, but this one, we also do it on the D, but you can buy special tools from Tungaloy, and I think NTK also sells them, and it comes with a coolant through port. All you do is line it up with the coolant ports on the tooling block inside the machine, and you have high pressure right to the cutting edge. No trying to string lines through there, just very simple to do, and it's standard on the machine. Also standard is a part conveyor. So instead of having a little drawer and the parts are dropped off in front of the machine, the parts are moved to the left side of the machine, and you can have a collection area there, whether it's a collection table or just a basket. All up to you, but the part conveyor is also standard on this machine. Here's a little video. This will be the first one that Citizen did from Japan. As you can see, it has the gull wing door, so this door opens straight up and not side to side, so you have lots of room to get in there and change tools, work on things. It is a 25 millimeter machine, front and back spindle. This will even show some pinch threading going on. That was the part extractor. That's the part chute for ejecting the part that got into the view there. So a lot of options for pinch turning and pinch milling on this. It's going to show a little bit of the pinch milling now. Skip a little bit through this. So this is showing some 4-axis milling going on. Doing some shaping here. Oh. Sorry. Operator error. All right. Get back to where we were at. So what I was trying to skip up to was a little bit more of where it showed this forming. And then as it gets in further here, now we're going to go into full 5-axis machining. So we're actually going to machine this whole port out with full simultaneous 5-axis machining.
Hey Rich, in the meantime, we have a question here. Does Citizen offer a magic guide bushing solution or implement any third-party solutions like JBS in the machine or others?
So we have our AGB units, the adjustable guide bushing units, and they're a little different than, they're not magic. They're based on science and they're double angle collets. So the premise is that they will close parallel as they're pushed against both sides of the angle as it's closed. So there's a piston on one side and it pushes it against another angled area on inside the unit itself, and that closes the collet up and down parallel to the material so that it clamps fully and doesn't pinch on either. It doesn't heel or toe out when it's open and closing. So yes, we do have options for those.
Thank you.
And I liked your comment. It's not magic. We bring it to you with engineering.
Yep. So here it's showing a little bit more of the back machining. Lots of options on this machine for adding tools and extra tools. And the tools that I showed earlier on the screen, those are all MCC tooling. There's also third-party vendors. Also to say that these tools also fit in your L's and your M's. So, and even your A series machine. So another thing, we talked about low frequency vibration, and touch on this just a little bit more. This is another thing that is not magic. This is science, and it's deeply ingrained in the machine, and it's controlled. We are actually controlling the vibrations so that when we come out of the cut, we are coming back into the cut at a certain point to take off the high spot. So if you look down in these little things right here, this is showing one pass, and that's showing the second pass coming out and getting the air cut and going back into the material. We are controlling that 100% in 3 different modes, and we'll show those to you in a little bit here. But we can do it just turning, facing. We can do it up angles, around radiuses. It's good for drilling, and we even have mode 3, which is for turning.
Actually, threading.
Threading, sorry.
We were asked, can it be used on the sub spindle, all 3 modes?
I believe so. It's
LFE
was
with like you had in the beginning with X3 and Z3.
Yeah. So here's an example of chips, some bad material chips, standard turning. You're going to get these nests. They're going to be in the way. They're going to stop your coolant flow. Your tool's going to get heated up. It could even get in your way of chucking when you come in with a sub spindle. It might get wrapped around the part as you're trying to eject it. All sorts of stuff. With LFV, we just turn on an option and it's gone. So this is going to show this in a little bit more detail. So this is actually nylon, which is not a hard material in itself, but it is a stringy material. And on the left, you'll see that it just keeps on stringing along, and you got this little diameter that we're trying to turn. On the right, we're just breaking the chips. There are no chips. It's not going to get wrapped. It's already wrapped on the left side. So what's going to happen? You can mess up that little diameter. It came in, it grabbed probably on top of the chips. Everything not in a good situation to make quality parts day in, day out. So this is an option for all new machines being sold right now. So if you have any questions, contact your dealer and they can get you further information. So onto the control. Like I said earlier, this is the newer control. It's a Mitsubishi 850 with the Citizen software. Touch screen, so for all the newer generations out there that like their phones and their iPads, they can go here and be very comfortable touching stuff. It's also safe because you're looking at the machine and you're like, I want that tool, and it's very easy to touch. But for the guys that are old school and like doing the buttons, that's still available. Also, they just might be in a little bit different position, but it's a bigger graphical screen and it's much easier to work on. Program input and output is SD card and USB. There is no RS-232, but there is option for RS-232 if that's what your shop uses. It can be purchased.
We actually have RS-232 standard, so that's a Japanese spec.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Did not see it in our sales thing. So,
okay.
All right. So RS-232 is standard. A lot of the features of what's made Cincom great for all these years: machining data page, tooling and part data known by the system. So all the tools know where to go and where not to go. It's very safe. It's user-friendly graphics. The on-machine program check, high-speed check, and checking by hand wheel are all still there. They're all options that are not options. They're all features that we have on our machines for years now, and they're incorporated into this. As you're editing programs, there's an auto program error detection. Once it sees it in the program, it'll automatically turn red, kind of like a spell checker. And when operator out on the floor has an issue and he crashes the machine or has some type of error, and you ask him, what happened? He comes back, he's like, I don't know. Go out to the machine, you check, it'll go right back to where it was at the error position. You can figure out what happened from there. With the Cincom control, like we said, it controls a lot of stuff, so there's a lot of safety. There's also a lot of time savings in these things. So internal moves and T-codes are overlapped. So we're rounding off corners. The machine knows what the longest tool is, where the part is sticking out, so it knows the shortest move to make back and forth to get around certain tools between two stations. C-axis. So in the old days, you used to have to stop the machine, it would find home, then it would go to whatever C-axis position you wanted. Now you just say G0, your C number, and it'll just stop right at the correct angle. We're even rounding off the little moves as it's threading, so it speeds up the cycle time there also. And we're talking tenths of seconds, hundreds of seconds, but time and time again, part after part, it adds up. So it all adds up to all saving cycle time in the end, which means you're putting more parts in the bucket at the end of the day. Cincom control, like we talked about, on-machine program check. This is going to show a little bit older control because we don't have any videos or pictures of the newer ones, so you'll see the old control sitting in the background there. But the on-machine program check and the high-speed check, you can run these at your own speed. You can go forward through the program just at the speed that you want, the setup guy wants, and as he sees an error coming up, oh, this tool looks a little bit too close, he can back up, he can edit the program live right there, go back into hand wheel mode and continue on with the program from there. Safe and very quick and easy to do. So it's going to show a little bit of a video of a couple of those features. Again, this is the older control. And before we even move any part of the machine, we go through a high-speed check. It just goes through the program, make sure there's no syntax errors, format errors. And now this is the on-machine program check by hand wheel. This is the one that you control the speed of. You sit there with your eyes in the machine, you watch the tools move, and you can go as fast or as slow as you want as it's going through. This video is a little bit out of sync, but it gets the point across of you're controlling it. So the two videos are shot together, they're just not synced up well. So also for the D25, we have the CAV 25 out for this machine. It's basically the size of a CAV 32, but we're selling it for the CAV 25. It's integrated access into the CNC, so it's controlled by the machine. There's no separate pendant. It has quick change channels. It's able to run in guide bushing or non-guide bushing mode without having to adjust the bar feed. You do not have to axial shift it back or forward to get into the guide bushing mode or non-guide bushing mode. And one of my favorite features on this is the bar loader info is saved with the machining program. So you don't have a separate program where you have to go make separate settings in the bar feed. You just set up the bar feed. Once all that data is stored with the machine and all the accesses, it's all there from when you've saved the program. So you go back to that program, all your machine programs there, your bar feed program is going to be right there and the bar feed's going to run just like it did before. So MCCs want to be a single source offering. So not only do we have the machines and the bar feeds, we do the coolant pumps, we make mist blasters, we do special tooling, we have a whole engineering department that does automation, whatever part you're thinking about. If you're having an issue trying to come up with a way to unload it or to load it, show it to your dealer, they can talk to us. We've also gotten into laser cutting. That's right now not on a D, but it is on L's. We put it on a GTY. It's coming out on an A20 soon. So we have it on all different machines. And the whole point is to be one source for local support. You call your dealer, say, I got a problem with what's running on my Citizen, and we come and take care of it. Local support is massive across the USA. These are all your dealers, and you can go on Merisit.com to check this all out. If you don't know your local dealer, hopefully you do. That's why you're on here, because you got an invite. So thank you for attending today. And I'm just going to close with a video while we answer questions or wait for questions to come in. And this is actually the tap wrench that we ran at IMTS.
Again, if anybody else has any other comments or questions, now's a good time. Takes about 15 seconds delay, so we'll wait a little bit here.
And as this is going through, there's really cool, in the picture-in-picture up at the top, this will show some PEC tapping. I thought was a cool feature that we showed on this part. So right here's the PEC tapping. So I guess since there's no more questions, I guess everybody knows everything, which is a good thing.
Yep, there isn't any questions. So thank you, Rich, and thank you for everybody who's attended. Just a reminder that tomorrow there's an M532 review, and Thursday is the tool monitoring review. Sorry, tomorrow is the B-Axis Part 2 review, and this Thursday is the L32 review. Next Tuesday is the M532 review, and next Thursday is the tool monitoring review. If anybody has any specific topics that you would like us to cover, please contact your local dealer or MCC. Oh, actually, we do have a question, Rich. How many axes does LV have at the same time?
Brian, do you know offhand, can we do front and back at the same time?
It's just like all the machines, it's 2. So if you were doing, Z straight on the front and the back, it could be the same time. But X and Z on one side would be the 2. So 2 axes at the same time.
Okay.
And do we have any 32mm kits out yet?
No. This machine was designed as a 25mm machine, and that is basically what it is. It's it's definitely a big 25mm machine, but it has lots of capability, and it's meant to run high production, high complex parts.